finished practice number 10 last Thursday before Easter. Got in number 9. Had a great practice there. I guess. Would you have Brady Bates come talk to you after that day? Coach Bell did that day. So, good practice then. Had another good one today. We're out in full pads. Obviously, you guys saw the beginning. We'll go out to shells on Thursday, and then we'll strap it up for a good scrimmage, which should be the best one of the year on Saturday at Acrisure. Got some great stuff in today, both sides of the ball. They worked a 4-minute at the end of the game. At the end, the offense won the 4-minute drill, which they leaked the clock out, milked the whole thing down, so we didn't get a 2-minute to go with it. It was ones-on-ones. It was good to see our offense get in an actual huddle. We just learned how to eat up the clock. Had a critical 3rd and 7 where defense jumped off sides, gave them a 3rd and 3, and then they got the first down and drill's over. So great job by the offense there. Had a great red zone lockout period. We'd get on the red zone, put the ball on the 11-yard line, and let them play ball. Defense won that drill. I think it was like 24 plays inside the 11-yard line, unless there was a sack. But again, our guys are swinging and competing, going back and forth, and you see a lot of good things. You see improvement, especially in the offense, just with the newness of what we're doing and how we're doing it, and you see big plays being made every day. So, question?
Nate and Cade both talked last week about how Nate needs to know what Cade is thinking. He needs to understand what Cade wants. When you hear those two talk in their conversations, do you get the sense that, can you see it, that Nate is kind of really thinking the way Cade thinks?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that takes time too. I don't know if, Nate can think just like Cade. Maybe be our offensive coordinator in a couple of years. I think the more time they spend together, the more you get that, Chris. I think there's a lot of things flying around out there. The guy sitting under the center compared to the guy standing on the sideline, try to think alike. So it was better to have the marker last and be able to blow the whistle and say, hey, you should have done this. Why were you thinking that way? I was thinking this way. So again, there's a lot of learning experiences out there. The only way you can learn is by success and failures. So.
Nick talked about maybe taking too many shots sometimes. He's like, I need to do better at taking what's there in the defense. How have you seen him balance that? Because you want your QB to be aggressive sometimes, but always reading still defense.
Yeah. I mean, you want to take those completions. I mean, when you talk about, playing fast ball, playing fast tempo, those balls will be there. I think Coach Bell does a great job of, trying to teach them to take what they're giving you. And, you guys heard me say that for the last 10 years, as far as, everybody would like to have the deep ball, but we want completions and keep the drive going. And completions, knowing where to go with the ball quicker and put it where we can, catch it and run is a good thing. Those, they call it a 50-50 ball, but most of the time I've been around, those deep balls are maybe 20%. I can go through the last 18 years of football and show you that it's, probably averages like 13 or 14% if I added every year up in the last 18 years. So, as a defensive guy, you like people taking shots because usually they're going to fall and complete.
Some college coaches, and maybe even yourself, keep the spring game a little bit vanilla. So this scrimmage coming up this Saturday, even more important than the spring game?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, the spring game will be on the ACC network, and nothing you guys haven't heard. We'll do our draft. We didn't do it last year, so get ready for the draft. We'll do a draft here. We'll come back to that. Kids want to do it. They're asking to do it. It's more fun that way. So the spring game will be a fun scrimmage. I don't want to show everything we're doing. We got some new stuff in, obviously, on both sides of the ball. So we'll just kind of keep it a little bit, but now let them go play ball. Won't be as fun, but at least our guys will get out there and play a game. Because this scrimmage, these inter-squad scrimmages, when it's ones-on-ones, those are, again, we want the guys to go out next week. They're still getting graded on how they execute and how they block and how they tackle and then they make plays. But, you won't have, all your arsenal in offensively and defensively.
Coach, looking at the defensive line, there's some doubts. How do you see this grow, not just grow in terms of practice so far?
Yeah, I'm not watching the tape today. I'll go back to last Thursdays. I see our guys attacking a little bit more. Different voice in there. I just see, just more aggressive up front. We're knocking people back, and that's something I love to see. I really like what we're doing up front. Again, sometimes, I say change is good. Charlie Partridge is a great coach. You don't get any better, but hearing a different voice, a different way, you know, I see our guys coming off the ball, and you know, it's a different style of what we're doing, which is more aggressive, and there's penetration and eyes and hands, and I just like the aggression. And again, I can feel it sitting back in the pocket.
What's Dayon's role in that? How has he done?
He's done a great job. You know, he's grown up a little bit. He's still a young child as he walked in the back door with his ugly smile. But he's still a kid at heart. But he loves to play the game. He's playing hard, and I think, you know, you guys can ask him some Coach Dow's questions. But you know, again, I just see more consistency out of him. You know, the highs and lows sometimes in his game, and I want to see those highs all the time for him to be an elite player in the ACC.
There's nobody on your roster right now that last year got more than 4 sacks, whereas the 4 years before that, you guys had multiple guys with 7+ sacks. Is there an added pressure for Dayon or for other guys to, like, hey, we need someone to be the guy that gets the quarterback this year?
No question about it. We know sacks are important, and you know, we didn't get many last year, but we saw so much more run than we saw pass. When you're in a tight game, I mean, even if you're down by 7, we're getting run at us. Nobody was being aggressive. It's like, hey, if they can't score on offense, we'll just grind it out and run it. So that hurt us as far as getting sacks last year, I think. And I think if we can be more explosive on offense and play complementary football, offense scores more, and we can get up by 14 on someone, that the sacks will come. But it's hard to get sacks when they're handing the ball to the tailback.
Is there also any like technical standpoints where you like, hey, like, you know, Kalijah could do so many different things where he lined up versus, you know, where you see some of the guys that you have this year, like, hey, we need to see more of you guys win these one-on-one matchups to create.
No question. You like them to win those one-on-ones. And, you know, transitioning from the run to the pass is hard. I mean, if you're constantly seeing run, and even when it's 3rd and 7, they're running the ball against you, you know, because they're like, hey, let's gain 4 and go for it, whatever it may be. And then you get into these what we call sequencing periods. So, you know, it just makes it hard there. You know, you're not getting a chance to pin your ears back and go. But, you know, there's certainly when there's a pass, you'd like to win that one. But when you know it's 100% pass, that makes it easier than when, you know, you have to stop the run and you need to stop the run.
How is Nakai developing inside? Is that going to be a permanent move?
Yeah, it's a permanent move. He's permanently there. He'll never move back to defense. Man, he's doing a nice job. He's got that, you know, that canty ability to be twitchy with the 3 technique, and he's got a chance to be pretty good in there. We like what we see a lot. He's just going to keep getting better. If we get him to keep his thigh boards in, he goes out to practice without his thigh boards in, Jerry, not good. Get a thigh bruise, he'd be sitting on the bench.
That would hurt.
And obviously, new offense, new tempo, new O-line coach. You mentioned the aggression from the D-line. How's the offensive line holding up?
You know what, I think they look pretty good. You know, we gave a little pressure off the edge, which I hadn't seen the last few days. You know, just giving some pressure in the red zone in a couple periods, but I thought the offensive line is improved as well. I mean, you think about some of the young guys we had a year ago, they've grown up and they got another year on the belt. Coach Darbo's done a heck of a job, I think, of coaching those guys out, you know, coming off the ball in the run game as well. So some good stuff to see, especially in that 4-minute drill today when we, you know, the defense knows we're going to run the ball. The defense had 4 timeouts and they couldn't stop really the run. So that's a tribute to our offense in the run game.
When Nate Matlack transferred from Kansas State, he said he was excited about the opportunity to play with this kind of defensive scheme, with 4-man front, where you maybe make more of an impact off the edge. Is he doing? What have you seen from him this spring?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. Maybe again for Dayon, we'll let Dayon follow up on there. You know, just about his teammates. But you know, Nate Matlack's done a nice job. He's twitchy. He's what we thought we'd get out of the portal. Fired up. He's here, and he's going to make some plays today. He was whining today. I didn't give him a sack, but I think he had a couple sacks today for sure. He can create off the edge. He's a great addition.
What has Desmond Reed added to your running back room, and especially since he played through this offense with Coach Bell?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the recall of what he did and all that stuff, and he came in a little banged up, but the last few days, you know, when you go back to Thursday's practice, he popped a run, took it about 85, and I think in the coming out period. So he took it like 80, he jumped in the end zone, so it really wasn't a touchdown because he jumped before he got to the goal line. Cost him 15 yards and no touchdown, but he's explosive. He's a guy that can take it to the house. If he finds a hole, he can go. He's got different wheels than anybody back there. So, you know, the good thing about the running back room is there's different guys have different tools. I mean, Derek Davis had, nice Thursday, assuming a nice, Tuesday today. But, seen some nice things out of him. Saw him step up and block an A gap with Brandon George humming down, down his throat. He added that thing down, really well. So he's been a good pass protection for a guy, that's, half the size of my podium, but about the size of my podium.
So how you penalize if they jump into the end zone and not run through?
Say it again?
You penalize them if they,
Oh, yeah,
if they
they don't
jump
get
in?
that touchdown, heck, yeah. I think he's having fun in practice, but it'll cost you.
You often talk about the thinking speed of the quarterbacks in this new offense and try to process it, but how about also like the center position, the offensive line, how fast they have to think, call out adjustments, recognize what defenses are doing, and that being a part of that. Who have you seen kind of lead the charge of that from your players in establishment?
Well, Terrence Moore, obviously, and Lyndon Cooper, I mean, those guys, but all five of them up front have to make those calls, and they gotta make it quick. Again, we're a little bit different on defense. As fast as they're going, we're gonna give you different looks. They'll see a lot more vanilla look when they get to the season, I would imagine. But we'll prepare them, as well as anybody, just with all the different stuff they have to get, in a fast tempo. But we're more multiple, I think, than anybody that will play all year, I believe. And again, when they get to the 3-4 stuff, maybe we'll see, a different movement there, but, we've done a nice job so far.
Have you seen like a Jimmy Morrissey type of guy where like they get the first guy into the offensive line and sets the tone for everyone else, or has it kind of been a collective effort to grasp this new offense?
I think it's a collective effort. They've all been in, but like I said, I think it's Branson Taylor be the guy that's leading the show right now. I think he's still leading. Find out when the fall gets here.
And the final, Chris?
Yeah, what is Sean Fitzsimmons showing you this spring?
Sean's had a great spring so far. Coming out of 10, he's made all 10. He's been healthy. That was kind of one of his issues last year. He could never get healthy with that ankle. But Sean's had a really, really, he's had a good camp. I think, did he talk last week?
He did.
Yeah. So I put him in here for a reason. And Sean's he's been productive. He's sound. He's coachable. He does everything you're supposed to do.
Final one, anyone? Coach, thank you for your time.